What's good everyone, it's Yadiiiigg here reporting for No Jumper, and today we're here to talk about Trippie Redd and XXXtentacion. Now first of all, I want to take a look at the most streamed songs of all time on the SoundCloud platform. Coming up at number 3 we have XO Tour Life.
I don't really care if you cry.
Of course, a classic song by Lil Uzi Vert which has 228 million plays, and followed by this is a song called Promise by a member of the popular K-pop group BTS which has 249 million plays. And then at number 1 is Love, of course, by X and Trippie Redd with 262 million plays. And this cements its place forever within the hip-hop history books. This song, which was released in August of 2017, played a huge role in both Trippie and X's careers at that time, and in this video we'll not only be taking a look at this song, but also the journey of the two's relationship, both the good and the bad. So let's bring it back to when they first met. Trippie Redd talks about originally meeting X through Instagram, which would eventually lead to them linking up in Miami for some live shows.
I made an Insta snap and tagged him in it. And he hit me back. He was like, I love your shit, bro. I see similarity between us. Like, you not on what these other kids on. I fuck with you. And then ever since then, we just had been talking and shit. And then I went out to Miami and I had a show out there and I invited him and he came to perform with me type shit. And then after that, I lived with him for like a month or two.
And it's crazy to look back on this footage in hindsight. Regardless of what you think about 6ix9ine now, seeing X, Trippie and 6ix9ine performing together in 2017 in the context of where they would go from that point in their respective careers makes this a now iconic performance. So that's how the two linked up. However, Love wouldn't be their first song together. Before this song came about, X would actually jump on a remix of Trippie Redd's song Ooh Wee / Thoughts, which featured Uno the Activist and 6ix9ine.
I hit the bitch front and back and shit like
which X would remix into All Thoughts featuring just him and Trippie. And at this time, this was a huge look for Trippie. Although Trippie was definitely bubbling, he had basically just put out the video for Love Scars. Spinach, I've been here for a minute. And then less than 2 weeks later, getting a cosign from Post JLX, whose name was all in the headlines and had songs like Look at Me going crazy. This definitely elevated Trippie at that time. Moving on from this though, the next big thing in their relationship would be of course the collaboration Love, which as I said was released in August of 2017. Trippie Redd expounded upon how the track exactly came together in his 2018 interview with No Jumper here.
I went to the studio with him and it was this beat that Detail had. You know who Detail is? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he had this beat. X wasn't really fucking with it. So I was like, shit. If you don't fuck with it, I like this shit. Let me take it. So he let me take it and shit. Detail sent me the shit. End up recording this shit. I just freestyled some shit. Matter of fact, I had the melody in my head the night before. I cut that part, and then I previewed it on my Instagram and shit. And X DM'd that shit to me right away and was like, bitch, let me get this on my album. I'm like, for real, that's what you trying to do? He said, say less. And he was like, bet. I sent it to him. And then he sent it back to me. And I pulled up on him instantly like, nigga, this shit hard as fuck.
And interestingly enough, before the release of the track, the budding stars took to Melrose in this clip here to give the fans a glimpse of the track they had in store for them. And outside the lens of how successful the song was commercially, the track in and of itself is a generational anthem and epitomizes this era of music. The production tugs at your heartstrings as the gentle, melancholic pianos meet with X and Trippie's love-endowed delivery as they express their own personal heartbreaks over the track. And I think if Trippie and X had decided to release more of like a turn-up song instead of a raw emotional song like they did with this track right here, it just wouldn't have connected in in the same way, and it really wouldn't have had the longevity it's been able to have. So as soon as this song releases, it instantly connects with fans and quickly becomes a standout in both of their discographies. In less than a month, the song would land on the Billboard Hot 100 in the week of September the 5th, and the song would eventually peak at number 28 in the week of June 30th, 2018, after re-entering the chart after the unfortunate passing of X. And whilst I'm not saying that this song defines either of their careers, as they both have had various hits throughout their time, it should be noted that this was a very pivotal hit early on in both of their careers. For Trippie Redd, this was actually his first ever song on the Billboard Hot 100 and was only his second song ever to get an RIAA plaque, plus it remains his most commercially successful song, with it having the highest certifications out of any of his tracks, being now 6 times platinum. And for X, it was fairly similar also. It's tied with Jocelyn Flores for his 3rd ever RIAA plaque, plus on top of this, it's tied with Moonlight for his song with the 2nd most RIAA plaques also. So the song releases, it kind of blows up, and at this time period and the time period shortly after, it was pretty evident that Trippie and X bonded on a level deeper than just music. In October of 2017, 2 months after the release of Love, Trippie touched on the two's relationship in this interview right here.
Ever since I had met bro, we had just became like super cool friends, and now that's my best friend, I could say. Like, you feel me? I fuck with bro. He like my friend, my rival, all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just a genuine nigga. I fuck with him. He's real as fuck. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. Like, that's one of the realest niggas I ever met. We the same. That's why we look at each other like we best friends, because we got the same vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, our energies are on the same level, you feel me?
However, unfortunately, as most of you would know, moving into 2018 is where we would see the two's relationship kind of sour, and they went through a pretty public feud. And just like with the other videos we've done with the X and Ski relationship and the Peep and Tracy relationship, we don't mention this part of their story to lay blame on anyone or to fuel negativity or anything like that. Just a super brief summary of what happened in regard to their beef. Essentially, after it came out that Trippie was working with Drake, X didn't take to this too kindly because he had his own ongoing beef with Drake and saw this as kind of Trippie Redd switching up on him. And this came out in February of 2018 during this Instagram exchange between 6ix9ine and Trippie Redd right here, where as you can see 6ix9ine kind of alleges that Trippie Redd was using Drake for clout and mentions X before Trippie Redd in a response says fuck X and alleges him of switching sides. And from this point there were many different disses and claims and accusations and Instagram stories and Instagram lives that went back and forth and all of that type of stuff. You guys know how rap goes. Honestly, in retrospect, it's not really important to detail all of this super in depth because those details aren't that important all these years later. However, what is important to note is that they would actually patch up this beef in March of 2018 after X, during one of his live performances, had this to say about Trippie.
I will tell you all personally, I was a piece of shit person, bro. And I can admit that, bro. I was not a good person. But I've been trying my best to change myself. And I got a song with this amazing artist, bro. There's an amazing artist that I made this song with, bro. And I know that this motherfucker probably hates me for whatever reason he has, but I don't care. I'm taking this as a chance to say, bro, I love you and I love the world, bro. I appreciate you and I appreciate all of you. Play fuck love.
To which Trippie responded with this right here on Instagram, basically saying, hey, I'm with you X, I feel you, let's put this behind us and let's patch this up right now. However, unfortunately, them being on good terms wouldn't last that long, because then a couple months later, Trippie Redd fueled the beef again, calling out X in this video right here.
X the same type of nigga though. Fuck X too. He a bitch too. That nigga, he stole Ski Mask style. He stole my style. He just collided with his shit. Like, all these niggas bitches, bro.
Then a month after this leads us to the tragic passing of X, which happened in June of 2018. And although they never made up publicly before X passed away, since X's passing, Trippie Redd has spoken about how they patched things up behind the scenes before X passed away.
Right after I got off that live with academics, we talked and shit. And we put aside our differences. We was talking to each other, so that shit ain't really, feel me? I don't have to suffer of he passed away and I ain't get to say what I had to say to him, you know what I'm saying?
And he would also go on to share these DMs that occurred 5 days before his passing that showed the two were on good terms as well. And Trippie Redd recalls the moment where he found out about X's passing in this clip right here.
Walking out of the courtroom.
For real?
Getting out of jail.
How long you been in there?
I was like a week and some change.
Oh, for that bullshit.
I got out on my birthday.
Right.
He passed on my birthday.
So how'd that feel? You're coming out of a fucking shitty ass experience.
Yeah, that shit was just weird, bro. I felt the energy though. That shit, I don't know, bro. That shit was just weird to even like.
And since X's passing, Trippie Redd has been one of the most prolific artists in keeping X's name alive. Although fans try to hate on Trippie for quote unquote clout chasing whenever he brings up X, to me it's pretty evident that they were extremely close at certain times. As was shown in that interview clip at the start of the video, Trippie Redd called X his best friend at one time. So yeah, I don't really think of it so much as clout chasing as him just kind of commemorating and remembering his friend. And we've seen Trippie Redd do this in a few ways. Just 3 days after X's passing, Trippie Redd would release the song Ghostbusters that featured X. And on top of that, he would also be featured on X's song Bad Vibes Forever along P&B Rock.
I can waste your time, or I can change your life, I say now. Oh.
And in addition to this, Trippie Redd's exclamation mark album, which he released in 2019, he explained in naming it exclamation mark was actually a tribute to X, referencing X's question mark album. And finally, in All of Me from a Love Letter to You 4, his collaboration with Smoke Perp.
Baby, your love is just all for me, all for me.
He ends the song with a memo from X taken from X's first vlog.
I don't want to say I've given up, but I've just seen everybody make me promises and make me promises on promises and never really fulfilled. Like, I was always looking for a caretaker, looking for someone that would protect me.
Plus, on top of this, there are a slew of interviews and a slew of live shows and stuff where he talks very highly of and commemorates X. And that's pretty much everything we had for today in regards to Trippie and X's relationship. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more of my content, the link to my YouTube channel will be in the description. Also, if you haven't, make sure to hit that like button down below, and there are more No Jumper videos on the screen right now. Make sure to check them out if you haven't. But that's all from me today, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Peace.